They say every school has a dark room, a room that's always locked, a room that teachers never mention, a room that students pretend doesn't exist. At Harlow High School, that room was room 17. Nobody knew when it was built. The school had records for everything: construction dates, renovation logs, every classroom numbered and documented going back decades. But room 17 had no record, no blueprint, no permit, no paperwork. It simply existed. And on the night Liam Parker stayed after hours, he found out exactly why. Liam was not supposed to be there. It was past 9 in the evening. The building should have been empty. The lights should have been off. And Liam should have been home. But he had fallen asleep in the library. When he woke up, the hallways were dark. The front doors were locked. His phone showed no signal. And somewhere deep inside the building, a bell rang. Not a fire alarm. Not a phone. A school bell. Like the kind that signals the start of class. Liam stood still in the hallway, his backpack clutched to his chest, his breathing slow and careful. He told himself it was just a glitch in the system. An old building doing old building things. Then he heard footsteps. Dozens of them. Coming from every direction. Getting closer. He pressed himself against the wall and watched as doors opened on their own. Room 11. Room 12. Room 13. Room 14. Room 15. Room 16. Each door swinging open in perfect sequence. And then silence. Every door was open. Every room was dark. Except one. Room 17. A pale yellow light spilled from beneath its door. And from inside came the sound of chalk on a blackboard. Liam knew he should run. Every rational thought in his brain was screaming at him to find a way out. Break a window. Trigger the alarm. Do anything. But his legs were already walking toward room 17. He pushed the door open slowly. Inside, the classroom looked completely normal. Desks in neat rows. A blackboard covered in neat handwriting. Fluorescent lights humming softly above. But the students sitting in those desks were wrong. They sat perfectly still, eyes forward, hands folded. No one blinked. No one breathed. They just sat there, like mannequins wearing human skin. And at the front of the room, writing on the blackboard with slow, deliberate strokes, was a teacher. He turned around, smiled. "You're late," he said. Liam stepped back. I'm not a student here. I mean, I am, but I don't. This isn't a real class." The teacher tilted his head. "All classes are real. Sit down, Liam." Liam froze. He had never seen this teacher before in his life. "How do you know my name?" The teacher smiled again, wider this time. "We've been expecting you." The oldest janitor at Harlow High, a man named Gerald who had worked there for 31 years, once told a student that when he first started the job, room 17 was already there. Already locked. Already different. He said the previous janitor had warned him, "Never open that door after sunset." Gerald had laughed it off. Until one night, he saw the light under the door. He never spoke about what he saw inside. He just stopped going near that hallway. The school newspaper ran a story in 1987. A student journalist named Clara Webb had noticed something strange in the yearbooks. She pulled every yearbook going back to 1961 and laid them out on a table. The pattern was immediately obvious. Every 7 years, a group of students simply vanished from the records. Not expelled, not transferred, not graduated early, just gone. No photos, no names, no mentions anywhere. Like they had never existed. Clara wrote 3 pages of notes. She had sources. She had dates. She had names. She never published the article. The following Monday, her desk at the school newspaper was empty. Her locker had been cleaned out. And when her friends asked the homeroom teacher where Clara was, the teacher smiled and said, "Clara? I don't believe we have a Clara enrolled here." The earliest record anyone could find was buried in a storage box in the basement. A single page from a maintenance log, dated September 9th, 1961. Water damaged. Barely readable. It said, Room 17 completed as requested. Construction crew refuses to return to site. 3 workers reported hearing voices inside the walls during final inspection. Recommend room remain sealed until further notice. Below that, in different handwriting, darker, pressed harder into the paper. Room is ready. First class begins tonight. No signature. No name. Just a symbol drawn at the bottom of the page. A circle, with a smaller circle inside it. Like an eye. Teachers at Harlow High were told one thing about Room 17 during orientation. Do not assign it. Do not schedule it. Do not send students there for any reason. But one teacher, a young history teacher named Mr. Graves, made the mistake of asking why. The principal looked at him for a long moment, then said, very quietly, because some rooms choose their own students. Room 17 has been here longer than this school. It was here before the building, before the land was cleared, before any of us. Mr. Graves transferred the following week. But before he left, he slipped a note under a student's locker. It said only 4 words. Do not stay late. Liam ran. He burst out of room 17 and sprinted down the hallway. He hit the emergency exit door with both hands and fell into the forest behind the school. Cold air hit his face. Trees surrounded him. For a moment, he thought he had made it. He ran deeper into the trees, gasping, not looking back. But then he stopped, because through the tree line ahead of him, he could see the school. He turned around. The school was behind him too. He turned left. The school. He turned right. The school. No matter which direction he looked, the building was there. Same brick walls. Same dark windows. And in every window, 2 black eyes staring back at him. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. A voice, flat, mechanical, emotionless, said, You cannot escape attendance. Liam threw his phone into the darkness. I am not going back. And then the forest disappeared. One blink. Just one. And he was standing in the school hallway again, in front of room 17. This time, he couldn't run. Hands emerged from the floor, pale, cold, silent, wrapping around his ankles and pulling him back. He was dragged inside room 17. The teacher walked slowly toward him. You're curious. That's good. The curious ones adjust faster. Adjust to what? The teacher walked to the blackboard and wrote 2 words. Every 7 years, this school resets. New students arrive. They attend night class. And over time, they become part of the school. Become part of it. What does that mean? The teacher pointed to the door. It opened, and someone walked in. Someone Liam recognized immediately. Ethan Cole, his best friend, who had transferred schools 8 months ago. Ethan stood at the front of the room. His face was expressionless. His eyes were dark. His hands hung at his sides like he had forgotten what to do with them. Ethan, it's me. Nothing. Ethan followed the rules, the teacher said. He completed his cycle. Now he serves. Liam stood up. I'm not going to let that happen to me. The teacher's smile didn't waver. It already has. The blackboard changed. Liam looked down at his hands. Chalk marks were appearing on his skin, written in the same handwriting as the blackboard. Present. 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 He screamed. He ran for the door again. But the school had changed. Hallways stretched and folded. Every door led to another hallway. Every turn led back to where he started. The building had become a maze with no exit. Voices echoed around him. Attendance required. Stay with us. Class never ends. Liam collapsed to the floor, exhausted, out of options. And when he looked up, Ethan was standing in front of him. Don't fight it, Ethan whispered. Help me, Liam cried. For a moment, something human returned to Ethan's eyes. A flicker, a memory, pain. I tried, Ethan whispered. Then he stepped aside. And behind him, the principal appeared. Not human anymore. Just shadow. Just darkness in the shape of a man. It spoke in a voice like static. Darkness. Complete silence. And then, morning. The school looked completely normal. Students laughing in the hallways. Sunlight through the windows. Lockers slamming. A perfectly ordinary day. On the board in room 17, Ethan stood at the front of the class, smiling warmly. Relaxed. Friendly. Approachable. The door opened. A new student walked in, backpack on his shoulders, looking nervous. Ethan looked at him, and for just a split second, his eyes turned black. Then normal again. He smiled. Welcome to night class.